thing with all my videos is I like to basically offer these as a supplement to people who are either in the market for a bike or looking at buying a specific bike. Alright, that was getting a little crazy there.
Buenos dias, ¿qué tal amigos? John's Moto Garage as always. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to jump on the DRZ real quick, take it for a spin, get some wheelies out of my system. I want to talk a little bit about something that's been weighing on me slightly these last couple days. It's been on my mind and I just got to get it off my chest. And that is, how do you go about finding the best motorcycle for you? So let's jump on the DRZ and let's talk about it a little bit. This is going to be short, quick, sweet, and simple. And hopefully we'll get some good wheelie clips while we're at it. So best of both worlds.
Now, like I said, I've been thinking about this a little bit, but the idea for this video just popped into my head, and sometimes that's the way I roll. Now, let me just clarify, I'm not going to be telling you guys today, hey, this is the best motorcycle for you, and this isn't by any means an exhaustive, comprehensive list of how to find the best bike or narrow down the options or any of that. Actually, this is a very abstract thought more than anything. One of the viewers recently commented and he said, and I forget the context of it, but by all means I got good vibes from the comment. It wasn't something, I don't think, he wasn't coming across as negative or anything like that, but basically it was what makes somebody an expert on what the best motorcycles are. And it's actually a thought I've had a lot myself, because you've got tons of reviews, tons of people who do rides and demos and all that kind of thing, and of course on my channel I've got tons of ride review, first impressions, you know, the best bike or not the best bike, or watch this before you buy a bike, or don't buy a bike until you watch this, you know, whatever I can do to get you to click on that thumbnail basically. But truth be told, I hope the vibe you never get from my videos is that I think I'm an expert on the subject, because I think I'll be the first to admit that is 100% not the case. And I'll usually say this is basically a Joe Schmo's impression. So let's hit a wheelie, man. It's been too long. Whoa. Oh, I was in third gear. So my thing with all my videos is I like to basically offer these as a supplement to people who are either in the market for a bike or looking at buying a specific bike. Alright, that was getting a little crazy there. From a consumer standpoint, when I'm looking at a new product or a new motorcycle, whatever, I like to check out different reviews. Obviously, every review is going to be biased. It's going to be partial to some degree, for better or for worse. So I like to say take my videos as a supplement to whatever additional research you're doing. I'd always say be very wary of anybody who says it's like the definitive end-all be-all, you know, drop the mic, this is the best, or this is the absolute, because that's just frankly never the case. And a prime example of this, a real life example, is, you guys may have seen the video, I had my buddy Yuan come over because he happened to be in the market for a new motorcycle. He'd never ridden a cruiser before, and I happened to have just picked up the little Harley Iron 883, which was right in his ballpark for how much he was looking to spend. But I've also got a Yamaha Bolt that I'm willing to let go of because I just don't ride it a whole lot. And I said, dude, perfect example, swing by, you've never ridden a cruiser or a Harley, so come on over, take them both for a spin, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, because everybody's comparing the Harley versus the Bolt, which one's best, you know. And I understand on paper there is objective data you can go off of to determine which one's fastest, which one's lighter, which one has better fuel economy, which one sits lower to the ground, seat height. Yes, that objectively you can compare and say definitively one is better than the other, or lighter, or whatever the case. But when you're looking at best or better, it's all going to come down to the individual. And the example with Yuan, my buddy, is I had him jump on both, and I have my own biases and my own opinions on the two. I had him ride both bikes one after the other, and you can check out the video, and basically I was surprised by the bike that he ended up opting for. But it just goes to show that but really all that goes to show is we're all individuals, and so the best way to find the best bike for you is do your research, you know, do your research, do your due diligence. But ultimately, what I recommend, I think the best way is to get your hands on the bike and try to take your first spin. And talk to people who know you, talk to people who know the type of riding you do, but ultimately you got to pick the bike that you like. And one thing that'll definitely happen is your preferences will change over time, your likes will change over time. Sometimes it'll be trial and error. I know people who have gone with the Sportster and instantly regret it and say, oh, I'm gonna bump up to the next bigger bike. On the other hand, I know people who've started with the bigger bike because everybody told them to do it and instantly regretted it and went and bought the smaller bike. So it really does depend on the individual, but definitely do your research. And I hope that my videos can just, you know, add a little bit of extra supplemental information there. But don't take this as an end-all be-all. I contradict myself. My preferences change, my like changed over time, and that's just the name of the game. So ultimately, the best bike for you happens to be the bike that you want, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. And that, my friends, is how you find the best motorcycle. John's Moto Garage, as always, much thanks for checking out the channel. I really do appreciate the support, and I appreciate the viewers and the people who provide comments. I learned so much, both about different motorcycles and hearing different perspectives and experiences on bikes. And I also, you know, sometimes you get that, not really a reality check, but sometimes you get that what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, sometimes it's good to kind of get called out in a sense and have people not really put you in your place, but politely say, you know, have you ever considered this, or have you ever considered that? Because at the end of the day, like I said, you're the expert on what makes you happy. And that's what it's all about, putting a grin on your face and doing what you got to do for you. So stay tuned for next week. We're going over why the Harley-Davidson Dyna is the best motorcycle ever known to man. 256 reasons why. Is that a cop over there? I don't think so. I'm getting these stand-ups pretty well dialed in third, but my sit-downs are still not there. I just want to do a real slow sit-down. See, this is what I eventually want to get with the Harley-Davidson Dyna. So I know I can get there someday, but you know, it's just practice, just like everything else. Little bump. Oh man, I love it, dude. The motorcycle therapy, there's nothing like two-wheeled freedom therapy right here. Oh, there we go. John's Moto Garage. As always, a pleasure.
I may actually do a more comprehensive video at some point on how to find the best bike for you. This was really just briefly scratching the surface, but a few helpful tips that I think you can actually use. Do your research and take your time. So I know initially when I got into riding, I thought I wanted a chopper. This was way back when. As I did my research, I realized that wasn't going to be feasible. I ended up getting the Honda Shadow 600. That was kind of a decent compromise, but do your research, take your time. A lot of people will pick their first bike based on what buddies ride, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Other people will pick a first bike based on what they see and like and think they would enjoy. So do your research. If you see a bike that you like and that's what kind of gets that fire started, then look into that motorcycle. And just do your homework, basically, is what I'm getting at, because there's tons of reasons to ride. It could be you want something cheap on gas, you want something better for commuting, you want something you can take the HOV lane. Maybe it's just for fun as a weekend warrior. Maybe you want something to start learning wheelies. Maybe you want a bike just to be your first bike and to get your feet wet and see if you want to have a motorcycle at all. Dozens of reasons. So determine what the reason is for you. Find out which bikes you think you like, and then do your homework, do your research. You can check out videos I have, check out videos from tons of other channels, rides, reviews, impressions, pros and cons, the good, the bad, the ugly. Look into all of it, do your research, do your homework, and those are all ways to kind of narrow down ultimately and decide the best bike for you. But like I said, it all comes down to the individual. What's best for me isn't necessarily best for you, and it's all on a case-by-case basis. John's Moto Garage, I'm gonna step off my pedestal now. I'm gonna step off my high horse and get back on a motorcycle. Nos vemos, hasta luego, ciao.